I'm really pleased to be here to moderate this panel with the experts in the finance, I'd say. Well, I won't narrow it down to just fintech, but we'll let each discussion speak for itself now. But we're talking about leading finance, so innovation, execution, and the new blueprint of product leadership. And we have three key leaders here today. We have from Revolut, Florina Moise, country manager for Romania. We have Danik Yaros, head of Central Europe for BNP Paribas Cardiff, and Jakub Vyacheslav for Magnetic Bank. And yes, Jakub, congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, I know you were celebrating last night as well, but also we were, because England won 4-2 last night in the football. So something to celebrate anyway from our small part.
Successful day.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to jump straight in, and rather than me kind of have an introduction onto the panel, I'm going to open up the session to allow the leaders to give their opinion on essentially framing the conversation we're going to have today. So the question I'll put forward, and please you can choose who would like to answer first, is how has the balance between innovation, execution, and delivery had to change over the years?
Hi everybody. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Andrew, for the introduction. Actually, Revolut speaks for itself, and it is still a disruptor in the market. When it comes to innovation, I think innovation without execution is just marketing. So execution, it matters the most, because everybody can have a great idea. I think there are a lot of people with great ideas, but when it comes to what makes a difference, and especially to the customer's life, it's execution. And I think what it's changed in the past years, it's mainly how the client it's positioned itself towards financial services. Because with the introduction of technology, with having a phone, everybody having a phone, and having the possibility to search everything online, the experience of the user and the expectation of the user changed a lot. And what Revolut brought to the financial system, actually, it forced everybody to look at the consumer experience from a different perspective. From the perspective of consumer experience and making the life of the user better, not through the lens of a product and the services that you actually, bring in the user to you to use.
Anybody like to add? Yeah.
I would say there is no innovation without execution.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the main point. And to be honest, right now, there is a challenge because we have a lot of innovation across the fintech industry. But for me, innovation, product, customer journey, okay, but where is the money?
Yeah.
Innovation is valid and valued when you have a business on this, yeah. And such innovation, I believe, and how to have this proper balance between R&D, research, and innovation. Unfortunately, in the financial sector, always it's about the money, yeah. And in the end, if you have the business case and you have P&L behind this innovation could soon appear on the market.
Yeah, on our side, on behalf of BNP Paribas Cardiff, so we do insurance across the Central Europe, B2B2C business, and the innovation sits particularly, I would say, on 4 pillars. It's customer value, regulatory dimension, because it's influencing a lot of business, modernization, so automation technology, and customer journeys. Particularly which are related to the financial customer journeys. And it has changed tremendously last couple of years. Originally, people were coming to POS. Today has been mentioned, they do everything with the mobile. They getting up in the with the mobile. They have the daily organization in the mobile. They got all the payments with the mobile. So basically, our life is today in this kind of the small device, unfortunately. Fully managed, and this is something which we have to all, I would say, adjust our business perspectives.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Everybody's using mobile first as well, and most people have at least one, if not two or more mobile phones,
and virtual SIM card as well.
With that as well, yeah. Yeah, I think certain phones could do with fixing their battery lives a little bit, though. But that's a different conversation we won't have here. The panel heading is really talking, or it's kind of framing around leadership. So I would like to ask you from your view from the top. What does effective leadership, or particularly product leadership in the financial services look like today? What are you seeing that didn't exist 10 years ago, 20 years ago in the markets that you work in?
As I was mentioning, I think that the big shift, it's at least in the digital services within the financial ecosystem, it's the shift from the product to the user experience. So I don't think anybody, when it's thinking about how managing his money, it's thinking about products. It's thinking about, I have this maybe amount of money, or I have this problem that I have to solve. So what Revolut did, and I think this is why it has such a big success, is because it put the customer problem first, and it started from user experience. What we actually as a user we are missing, and put this in a very simple way, in a very simple and digital format, which is accessible to everybody, and solves the problems that the client has when it has it, and without unnecessary friction, without the roads that you have to go to the bank, the timing of the bank being open, and a lot of other frictions which are unnecessary. Of course, this is the way that the traditional banking evolved, and without this wouldn't be banking. But it's very clear that the world is moving in this direction, and especially with the AI and everything that it's going around ourselves nowadays.
I think the product leadership doesn't exist for me, to be honest, right now. We need to have people who are solution makers. And product on the shelf, you could have, traditional banks have a lot. But mainly how you will deliver the value to the client, value for your shareholder as well. And such people who are responsible for driving the solution, they are important in the organization, but also they are pissing off almost everyone in the company, because they are pushing, they are requesting some features from IT on operations, and they are alone. I would say right now, people who are solution makers, mainly they are alone in the organization, because they are believers as well. They see the value, they see the potential solution, how solution could support the clients. And I would say such people are super important right now, even more than AML, compliance and others, because they see bigger picture. But like I said, it's really tough position in fintech industry, especially if you are such a driven person for looking for a solution.
If I may add just one thing, what I think is important is to use the data that we have. I mean, the data, all the banks, all the financial actually players in this ecosystem are sitting for decades on a large amount of data. If we look at the data, if we use the data and we have the tools, now we have the tools to use the data, in the right way, we can fine tune the product so that the customer experience is always better. So I think this is what also it's very different from 10 years ago. Constant reshaping of the product
and testing by doing. This is, I think, the best approach. Yeah. And we shouldn't afraid mistakes. I think that mistakes also give us additional value in the end, how to create a very good solution for the clients.
I think Florina mentioned that today it's not about the product. It's about, the product managers, if they're going to exist, the companies are going to die. We need to have different product managers, the ones which are focusing on customer needs, particularly. And I already mentioned at the very beginning the financial journeys. And it's something very, very important for all the organization to transform and not to think only, I would say the good leaders, they should not focus only on a short term, even though it's very important, but they need to focus on a long-term transformation. So they need to envisage what's going to happen in 3-5 years ahead of us and start to invest into that. Otherwise you're going to lose the markets and the companies are slowly going to die.
I would like to add what you said, exactly bigger picture to see the future value, And also KPIs when we are setting for such people shouldn't be focused on numbers of clients, etc. In the end, I think this should be connected always with client satisfaction and profitability.
And engagement, client engagement. I mean, it's irrelevant if you are the primary bank where, you know, the client, it's just sending the money and all the income, it's going to Revolut for the daily spending. So this is redefining also the definition of the primary banking and how we should actually look at the things, and we use the fact that we shouldn't be stuck in you know very strict and definitions from the past.
And Zdeněk, you mentioned the kind of the customer and then the users, really that's the key. And so none of your businesses are ever going to be kind of stopping where you are now. You're constantly evolving your products, you're constantly changing, otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. With the customer in mind, how do you internally decide kind of which opportunities are worth pursuing, which do you ignore? I mean, you have all this data, but also what do you do with it in terms to help improve the products that you put out there? Is it customer feedback? Is it internal R&D? Is it internal employee feedback? And you mentioned kind of the customer's needs, the customer's outcomes are really the focus. That's the point of making such great products. How do you measure whether a product is genuinely improving the customer's needs?
Well, in the past, it was more about providing the studies, either the studies, I would say, face-to-face with the clients or online studies. Today, basically, we have moved to the next, I would say, generation, and we have created the UX Design Center, where basically we are inviting. So, you know, for client, it's cool, but when I first entered this UX Design Center, I felt like sitting at the police station with the guy, I mean, from police, and asking me the questions, going through the journey. And there is a mirror, and behind sits guys, which I have not seen them, but there are sitting guys. You have 28 cameras which are focusing on you. They have a computer and they're monitoring basically your eyes, your fingers, the way how you move. So basically, our US Design Center today is used to design not only the financial journey, but also the client journey on the devices which he is using. So whenever the journey is on a mobile device, we go and we sit and we do the mobile device. We invite something between 50 to 100 clients, usually banking clients, to analyze what we have designed and how they react. And whenever they go through the page and they stop somewhere, we ask why you stopped, what would change in this kind of stuff. So we try to redesign, and we have usually, and then we create like 3-5 models, which we are testing live. We call it on friends and families, usually employees of the banks. And only after 3 months, basically, once we shape the best journey, we go live. So it's completely different than it has been in the past. Before we asked about what would you like, what are your needs, and but today it's about the needs, but also about the financial journey and the easiness for the client, to understand. So UX design, the center, I recommend, it's really something interesting. And the first time when I was tested over there, I really felt like being on a police station. But I have to say, I got paid for that, to be there.
Okay, yeah. Do you do something similar at Revolut?
No, no. Actually, it's quite interesting to see the differences, and it's. I think it's quite rewarding to see that also the traditional system, it's catching up, and actually, this is only to the benefit of the user. In Revolut, everything happens, real time, because in a fully digital environment, you have access to the data and instantly, and you understand the customer engagement, where the customers are dropping, what creates more value to them, and of course this is using the data which are generated while the client is engaging with the financial ecosystem. But also, we are also using our colleagues as ideas, a resourceful spring of ideas. We in Revolut we have a program which is called New Bets, where everybody from the company can come with an idea. It's of course it goes through an evaluation, and if it can be tested for a certain period of time, and it can be a live product very fast, or a live service. which gives also empowerment to the people and engagement, and also can see that actually everybody in the company can come with an idea which can be brought to life extremely fast.
No, in magnetic situation, what is the beauty in my company? We are working with fintechs, and amazing thing that when we are building the product, we are starting from our client, and clients building for us solution. And we don't have R&D, we don't have any product research. We have a fintechs, and we would like, if you would like to prefer or produce some solution, we are going to them and asking, hey guys, what do you need? And so we skipped this product delivery on our side, because our clients, our fintechs, our partners, they know better what end customers expect, and this is amazing that you could go and deliver what they exactly need.
It sounds like it's a really kind of open, engaging kind of workplace in particular, like as you've just mentioned, Jakub and Florina. So how do you make it so open for your employees to put their ideas forward? I mean, culture is really important within the finance world, and I know it's something that's extremely important for Revolut. So how are you really able to kind of motivate the employees to join you on this? And what do you say also from a power of kind of leadership that's going to separate the organizations that consistently manage to execute that well versus those that might struggle?
Money only.
I would say that, of course. Yeah, monies are, of course, it's always important. It's not something that you can take easily. But what I think it's extremely important is, first starts with the recruitment process. You need to bring in the best people and the people which are aligned with your culture, because this is an important aspect for driving efficiency and being in a high performance culture. Then, of course, everything has to be aligned in the KPIs around, and this has to be aligned with your values and with what the organization stands for, which in Revolut is customer experience first, and of course within a compliant manner. And as I was mentioning earlier, the fact that any employee can see driving results fast and can see the impact of his work very fast, it's quite motivating and engaging.
From my perspective, revenue share model with employees. Each employee should have access to P&L. They should know our figures, and when they are observing how the product solution is working, I'm ready to share with my employees part of the revenue what I have. This is amazing because I have small entrepreneurs in my team, and they understand the logic behind. Yeah, if there is no value for us, there is no value for them as well. And in the end, we are financial sector. We are doing this for money, not for the super ambition targets. But in the end, we need to deliver value for our shareholder. And that model works in Magnetic. And in some cases, people are shocked that they could receive 5% of total revenues constantly. And then they are supportive ideas. They are much more open. They are much more engaged. They are happy to step in, and I would say even during the weekends and holidays, they are always close to the client because they are building own profitability based on this.
Yeah, if you'd like to add something, otherwise
money always talks. It's true. On other hand, I mean, the generations are changing. I mean, I remember when I first joined GE Capital Group, it was 1997 in USA. It was about the money, about the share programs and all this kind of stuff. It was fantastic. Today, when you want to make the new generation interested, obviously money important because that's the first. Second, they ask home office. I love this word. I mean, it's I don't, because I don't believe that the home office is something where basically you can really connect closely to the company and stay longer. But what I believe what is important, and today what I really keen on my teams, on the CEOs in the region, is more, to bring, I would say, the future to the people, to show them that what they're going to do the first year and how they can grow within the company. Because as being said, I mean, being 50% on home office, they get a call, email, hey, over there, more money, 500, 1,000 euro more, and they just easily switch. But if they see the perspective inside the company, for them, it's more than the money. So I would say encourage you to really have within your HR program the good, I would say, the growth path, for the key employees, and to keep them motivating, not only with the money, but also with this growth opportunities.
What I can add, and I think this is interesting also for the younger colleagues. When I joined Revolut, in the recruitment process, the recruiter was telling me that in Revolut there are 5 values which are embedded in everything that Revolut does and the way that it evaluates the performance. And they were saying that the values are dream team, never settle, think deeper, and deliver wow. And I was thinking that they were sounding very nice, but I didn't know how they are putting this into practice. And actually, what I found, starting with working with Revolut, is actually that these values are really the core of the culture, and everything which goes around for employee motivation. And everybody in the company, independent of the level in the company, is evaluated against this, and it makes you understand what is the impact of your work in everything that you do, in the product that you deliver to the client, because it has to be, wow. You have to think deeper, meaning that you have to really think critically, independent if you use AI or not, because this is a different topic. And you have to work together with your team, because otherwise you cannot have the dream team.
So I think that what we're hearing is that money is important, but actually so is being able to show and track your kind of input into the company's growth. Just a last question from me then, I'd love to hear from each of you on this, is if we're sitting here again in, let's say, 5 years' time, and everyone talks about the fintech world moving really fast and the payments world moving fast, but the growth rate in Central Eastern Europe is also moving really fast. If we're talking again, let's say, okay, I said 5 years, but let's say the next World Cup. So in the next 4 years, we're back here. What would you say would be the single kind of biggest factor that's going to really separate those companies that are here today starting up, or even the more old school ones that are really kind of pushing innovation into essentially kind of being a winner versus those that are really maybe going to find it difficult in financial services? Are we talking about the talent? Is it, trust is always going to be there, so maybe we wouldn't use that, but the technology, is it the sense of the way the execution is done, the delivery, the product side diversity, or is it just something else?
Let me start. Our business is very much regulated. And obviously the regulation, it's difficult to anticipate because we don't know what the regulators are going to come. But I already mentioned at the very beginning, big piece is going to be the transformation, and transformation thanks to AI. The AI is playing today. I think I'm not the software engineer, and I will never be, and I don't think so the managers have to be the software engineers. But we need to understand the benefits of the AI and how to use it for the future, because if the company wants to grow, they need to transform together with the AI. If they don't transform, they're not going to exist in 4 years' time. And it's going to be very important. It's going to be important to take this, I would say, factor, and not to oppose the AI, because it's going to be everywhere, and it's already here, even we don't, I would say, accept it that much so far.
If I continue, what you are saying is that actually in 4 years, not only in 4 years, I think we are already entering the era of trust within AI era. And what this would be the differentiator within this industry. What we need to achieve, it's bringing AI as support to our everything that we do, because it really can enhance our everything experience, the way that we perform, efficiency and everything. But it has to be done in a trusted way. We need to trust AI, because now AI is everywhere. But unfortunately, and I think this comes with innovation, it's still in the era where it is not trusted. And this is because it is not fully regulated. And when we have AI in financial ecosystem, trust means fully regulated. And differentiator would be the differentiators would be the ones who can use AI to prevent, to bring to the client a more secure environment, meaning preventing fraud, and also bringing better experiences, which can come in many, many forms. Like, from helping them, navigate through the app, and instead of, dropping down menus, which are static menus, you can just have an agentic AI who can help you do whatever you need to do in an instant. Many, many appliances of the application of the AI. And I think the future, in 4 years from now, we will discuss about this in a trust environment. Yes.
I hope that we'll still be here physically, not our avatars created by an AI agent. This is, I think, first. The second, I think that we should use this 4 years because we'll be much more regulated, unfortunately. And right now there is a space for the innovation, but probably our regulators, they will come to us and they will tell, hey, AI is good, but guys, still you need to be compliant. You need to be, close to the regulation. And that is why I think this 4 years we should spend and develop a lot of things, because after 4 years we'll be super over-regulated.
Yes, and I think, coming back just 1 second to what you said, you said, unfortunately, more regulated. It's something that, of course, we all suffer from, but this is a fact. We are in a financial industry which has to be regulated. And we have to take this not as a blocker, but as something that she's fostering us to be more innovative in a compliant way, which will always bring trust.
So, let's be honest, regulation are killing innovation. Yeah, this is always against. Yeah, of course they are giving additional trust for the product, etc. But if let's imagine Europe, each country, one European Union, but each country have different setup for regulations. Yeah, and this is crazy. Yeah.
But still, we have Revolut in this ecosystem.
And you struggle with your license. Yeah.
If I may say one example, there was a bank for sale in year 2000 in Central Eastern Europe. And this story relates to the managerial behavior, okay? And there was a financial group which was interested about this bank. And apparently there was a due diligence, 5 companies in due diligence, and suddenly only 1 company left. And the Ministry of Finance called to the chair of the bank which was interested to buy this local bank. And the Ministry of Finance said, listen, you are the only one in the race. Are you still interested? At that time, there was no AI. There was nothing, no BI. There were purely, I would say, data. And the guy has made a brave decision, yes. And today is one of the biggest, I would say, financial institution in the Central Eastern Europe, together with this local bank. So what I'm trying to say, AI is going to be around us, but you will need to have a brave people, brave managers around you, also to make the brave decisions. And decisions which are going to evolve, I would say, the future. Not everything is going to be on data and AI. Also, the brave decisions will remain. So, smart people, but also people which are thinking about the future, which they have a vision, are going to be very much, I would say, appreciated. So, the combination is very important.
Excellent. I think it's a great place to stop. I'm really sorry. I wish we had more time to keep talking, but ladies and gentlemen, please, a big round of applause for our panelists today. Thank you very much for listening in.